generated by renewable energy. The students in all over the Iran have advocated by how important is the renewable energy and how bad is non-renewable energy. Everyone have a dream today. The delegate of Iran strongly suggests all the countries and nations vote for this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Does that go with any point of information?
Why?
That has up to 1 point of information. Are there in the House? Delegate, please face target position. Dr. Buganda, you're recognized.
Point of information.
Granted.
Delegate mentioned a lot of country's dreams. How far is delegate of Iran? How far is the delegate of Iran from accomplishing the dream of harnessing innovative ways of renewable energy within its country right now?
May I please rephrase the question?
The delegate in Iran mentioned a lot about country's dreams to get renewable energy within its country. So how far is delegate of Iran in accomplish the goal or the dream of getting renewable energy all over its country?
Since now Iran have only 5.8% of the electricity was being generated by renewable energy, and the delegate of Iran believes if all of us would also agree with this resolution, the percent that electricity will be generated in Iran will be like the rest of the renewable energy station will like cover whole Iran, and the renewable energy generate the electricity will be like 100%.
Thank you, delegate. Well done, your public position.
Thank
you, delegate. The speakers list speaking for this resolution as a whole is still open. Are there any members who speak for this resolution? Item DPR, you have recognized. Please approach your podium and give your speech. Delegate, you have 90 seconds.
One last thing to say this resolution. This resolution do have many seems to be demands country to do policy, but this argument mentioned only the Security Council have the ability to demand a certain country. So these resolutions, this target wants to remind every member state, every member in this house, this resolution is not mandatory. And if the delegates, since there is a potential to harm their own country, the delegate of the countries have their own rights to not apply this resolution. Thank you.
Delegates of themselves any other information from earlier times. The chair will only be second one under any in the house. The delegate explain and be recognized. Granted.
Can the delegate explain specifically how a state can benefit from this resolution paper?
Spain can benefit this resolution paper by Spain can benefit this resolution paper by in the view of in the clause of lowering down the level of urbanization. By that, I think controlling your country's urbanization can help your country to discover more renewable energy location sources, and for that, it can propose your country's renewable energy development.
Did I get a time constraint? Leader delegate, please yield up to the back to the chair.
And now the House will go into the speaker for speaking against this resolution. Are there any speakers that are willing to speak against for this resolution? Speak against this resolution as well.
Are there any seconds?
Second.
I'm sorry, any objections? Okay, we'll now move into voting procedures for this resolution as a whole.
Okay, please secure the doors. All no passing will be suspended at this moment.
The chair would highly
delegates wishing to vote for this resolution as a whole, please raise their hand or aye.
Admin, please tell the count. Please put the placard higher so admin can count. Huh?
Main Street.
23. Delegates wishing to vote against this resolution, please raise their placards high. Delegates wishing to abstain? With 23 for 8 against and 1 abstain, this resolution passes. Clapping is in order. Yes, we're now moving to a resolution of the delegate of China. May the delegate of China please send their resolution onto the group chat, and we will have 3 minutes of silent reading. Yes. We can share with another delegate next to screens. Share screen. Yes, delegate? Yes.
If the delegate hasn't had the ability to read the whole resolution paper in 3 minutes, can we stand at 4 or 5 minutes?
Did I do time constraint? Skim through the resolution. The timer starts now. The delegate of China can come up to the podium and be prepared for their speech if they would like to. They can wait for 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes.
I'll give you 30 seconds. time has passed. Delegate of China, you have 3 minutes to give your speech.
Honorable chairs and esteemed delegate. This delegate stands here to speak for the resolution as a whole. Basically, the resolution is structured in 2 parts, negotiation and punishment. Clause 1, 2, and 3 aims for the free trade and emphasizes the need of reduction of tariffs. There is an obligation to reduce or eliminate tariffs when the U.S. is establishing a credible amount of tariffs and harming the global economy. For that reason, the delegate of China chooses to negotiate first by creating an international trade organization. Aiming for the free trade, this could give rise to benefit as listed. Also, the delegate believes that this laws in the World Trade Organization is way too vague to train the U.S. and therefore sees the need to clarify on some terms. Moreover, the delegate believes that the trade discrepancies between the U.S. and China needs to be covered. By China agreeing to purchase more U.S. goods and an agreement of reduction of tariffs from the U.S., this will greatly mitigate the effects of trade war. If these are not agreed on, the U.S. must face consequences. The world can no longer suffer from the extreme tariffs, which are weakening the global economy. Clause 4 and 5 encourages countries to set quotas and alternative trade routes to avoid the skyrocketing tariffs. Also, the resolution encourages the European countries to set retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. as a consequence, and force the U.S. to come to an agreement. This resolution is a fully valid resolution because this opens the door for negotiation and punishment if negotiation does not happen. The delegate believes that this resolution also allows enough mercy, and as retaliatory tariffs are to be eliminated if the U.S. reduces its tariffs to an agreeable amount. In Clause 8, the resolution shows more possibility of negotiation and an opportunity for the U.S. to express their stance. As a whole, the majority of the world countries all have a mutual agreement to reduce the devastating effect of the trade war. When these tariffs set are hurting everyone, the delegate of China sees no reason why the world shouldn't come together and agree on this resolution as a whole.
Thank you, delegate. The delegate open to any points of information. The delegate has opened themselves to any and all points of information. However, due to time constraints, the chair will be only entertaining 2. Are there any in the House? Delegate of Spain, here is recognized. That's order. Granted.
The delegate explained how the trade war and the process of every other country being affected by the trade war specifically.
Trade war affects many countries because the tariffs are basically there to protect domestic products. However, these tariffs are way too high that other countries also have to pay these tariffs while exporting to these countries like the U.S. or China or other countries with high tariffs.
No, then I have a time constraint.
Information.
Yes, delegate?
Good question.
Sorry, yes.
I can run it fast.
Yeah, oh, yes. Sorry. Wait, can you what there was me?
I can run as the POI list or.
Yes, please, recognize that, please, state your point.
Okay, so in clause 2, the delegate mentions to create an international trading organization. So it will require the contribution of the U.S. But in clause 8, the delegate urges member countries to eliminate or reduce tariffs. Thus, the delegates realize that United States of America is the one that won't have trade war and continue to add tariffs on another country. If so, how does the delegate explain this testimony today?
Yes, the delegate believes that trade war won't end if the U.S. continues to raise tariffs and not reduce or eliminate tariffs. Therefore, the delegate urges and encourages the contribution of the U.S. to this international trading organization to promote free trade, which will benefit the world as a whole.
Denied due to time constraints. And the delegate, is the delegate willing to yield the floor back to the chair or another delegate? Does the delegate Iridianda accept this offer?
Yes.
Please approach the podium. stand ready.
Distinguished chairs and honorable delegates, the delegate of Uganda is honored to be standing at this podium talking about this resolution. As the trade war is a major conflict between the big superpowers since last year, we need to find ways to finish the conflict or mitigate the effects so that the countries are not going to be affected negatively in the least manner possible. The resolution comprises of different components that each serves its own purpose. The delegate of Uganda with the representation of China is mentioning the strengthening of the WTO, forming of a trade organization with the contribution of the U.S., balancing out trade discrepancies while providing alternatives if the U.S. does not contribute to the resolution's clauses. We are emphasizing the fact that China does not want to escalate the trade war, but is willing to retaliate if U.S. is going to not give up on placing tariffs and their protectionism. The trade war is initially triggered when China has stolen U.S.'s intellectual property. It can also be said that China's credibility of U.S. has been decreased than before. China is therefore proposing throughout the resolution that China will provide transparency to the U.S. in terms of intellectual property. By providing transparency, the delegate believes that it can earn credibility and trust from the U.S. Delegate strongly believes that eradicating the main causes of conflict will get rid of the trade war. Delegate therefore encourages all delegates to consider this resolution and make sure it passes.
Thank you, Delegate. Is the Delegate open any further information?
And
The Delegate open themselves to any and all further information. However, the attempt is to show the only entertaining two. Are there any other forum? Delegate of Canada and Spain have been recognized in that order. Delegate of Delegate of Spain and which other? Canada. Delegate of Canada has been recognized.
With application.
Granted.
In clause 2, it mentions that to establish an international trading organization. So what's the differences between the new international trading organization and World Trade Organization?
May the Delegate please speak in a more audible manner.
In clause 2, it mentions that it's the establishment of
the delegate of Myanmar would also reject the Euro fact-finding groups to enter the countries to search for the truth.
The delegate of United States, you have been recognized.
This question is already asked.
The delegate of Indonesia, you have been recognized.
That was question name.
Are there any more points of information? Seeing no, the delegate is go back to you. Yep. Are there any more against, for or against speeches on this resolution? The delegate of China, yes, I recognized. Very short, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Honorable chairs, esteemed delegates, the delegate of China would like to reiterate the fact that Myanmar should have the final say in what resolution is being implemented in their own country regarding their own internal conflict. This not only infringes upon human rights, it infringes upon sovereignty, and the delegate believes that all delegates should vote to strike this amendment. Strike this clause.
Thank you, Delegate.
Mr. Delegate, open to any points of information?
Any at all?
Due to time constraints, there will be no more points of information for the delegate of China. With the delegate of China, it will go back to the chair.
Yes, back to the chair.
Due to time constraints, the chair will now move on to voting procedure for this amendment. Admin, please secure the doors. The chair will divide the houses to make sure every delegate vote for this amendment. Delegate of Bangladesh.
4.
China.
4.
France.
4.
Indonesia.
Against.
Iraq.
Against.
Israel.
Against.
Japan.
4.
Myanmar.
4.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
Against.
Syria.
Against.
Thailand.
Against.
Turkey.
Against.
United Kingdom.
Against.
United States.
United
Holding.
States. There's no direct conversation between delegates. We're doing voting procedure for this amendment. And it's this amendment is to strike this whole clause. Vote.
And then it's my turn. Yes.
Yes.
For or against?
Yes.
4.
Wait.
This amendment does not pass, and so the clause is not struck as a whole.
Point of Mr. Chair, I believe there's a veto made by the delegate that can.
Yes, but the veto, there's already a majority for against, so the veto, if it was passed, it would do nothing because there's already a majority.
The chair will now move on. There's no more than this. The chair will now move on to next clause, which is submitted by. The chair stands corrected. The chair will move on to voting procedure for this whole clause, which is 2.8. The chair will divide the house in.
Bangladesh,
Against.
China,
Against.
France,
Against.
Indonesia,
For.
Iraq,
For.
Israel,
For.
Japan,
Against.
Myanmar,
Against.
Russia,
Against.
Saudi Arabia, Syria,
For.
Thailand,
For.
Turkey,
For.
United Kingdom,
For.
United States.
For.
There's a veto. Please, P5 nations, go outside.
你在想什么
Please bring your laptop.
Iraq. It's total waste. If you do it, I'm gonna reject it. So it's partially a waste of time. I'm gonna reject this makes no sense.
What's your attitude on this?
Like their voting is
This is not history. It starts in 2014. Last two.
This is not a time to speak. You were supposed to sit and be quiet.
No one has.
Yes.
I that
The last 2%.
But due to the fact that we've already procedure, it will not be entertained.
美国人一直在你们国内进行非法调查，你们国家政府一直在反对美国的调查，然后你们现在居然要调查缅甸。
那是非法调查跟正规调查的一样的。
Who defines legal or
This is not a
illegal?
time to speak to each other.
You
This
define.
is not a delegate. Pass notes. Will the House please come to order? The chair has ruled that this veto is granted, and so the clause does not pass.
For 2.8.
Please make the appropriate changes.
The chair will now move on to 2.7, submitted by the delegate of China. Please approach to the podium. Delegate, you have 2 minutes.
Delegates, due to time constraints, will only be accepting one amendment per clause.
Yes. And there will be only one speeches for this whole clause. Delegate, you know when you're ready.
Honorable chairs and esteemed delegates, China believes that in her opening speech she mentioned a three-phase plan that's already been backed by the Myanmar government and already been put into action in order to resolve the conflict going on in Myanmar. The delegate would, since she doesn't have a lot of time, draw the House's attention to subclause A, subclause I, as a common issue that has been going on is the debate between sovereignty and the violence going on within the state. The delegate believes that by calling and suggesting for the enforcement of pre-existing anti-violence laws outlined in the Myanmar Constitution, we are respecting the sovereignty of the nation and also allowing for progress to occur regarding violence between the two ethnic groups as outlined in the Myanmar Constitution. There should be laws regarding such conflicts. The delegate strongly recommends the House to vote for this clause as the Myanmar government is approving this and so is Bangladesh and they are willing to implement these initiatives.
Is the delegate open to any piece of information?
Any at all?
The delegates are open to any piece of information. Are there any piece of information in the House? Due to time constraint, the chair will only accept one point of information. The delegate United Kingdom, you have your remarks.
Point of information.
Okay.
The main clause says that the plan is facilitated by China. Does that mean that other countries who are willing to help cannot participate in this plan?
Not at all. The delegate when the delegate mentions that it is facilitated by China, it means that the negotiations will be overlooked and that is at the request of the Myanmar government. But this is not stopping other countries who wish to help, whether it be through humanitarian aid or other provisions of resources to Myanmar to help. That is still strongly encouraged.
Would the delegate yield the floor back to the chair?
The delegate would like to yield the floor to, she believes, no, the delegate yields the floor back to the chair. Sure, thank you.
Are there any delegates wishing to speak against this clause?
Only one.
Actually, the delegate of UK has submitted an amendment. Will the delegate of UK please?
The UK meant to submit that amendment for clause 2.6 on your version. It's 2.7.
Okay. The chair stands corrected. Are there any delegate wishing to speak against this whole clause?
Motion to move to the board.
Are there any seconds? Are there any objections?
If delegate is working on an amendment, and we would like to finish them.
Yes, as soon as possible.
Are there any delegates wishing to speak for or against this clause as a whole? Delegate of Myanmar, you have been recognized. Please approach the podium. You have 1 minute. We begin when ready.
Distinguished chairs, honorable delegates, and esteemed guests. The delegate of Myanmar encourages all delegates to vote for this resolution, as it is the best way, as so far seen by the delegate of Myanmar, to solve the Rohingya crisis. Therefore, the delegate believes if this clause passes, the Rohingya crisis may either be mitigated or entirely solved. Therefore, yeah, thanks.
Does the delegate open to any points? The delegates open to any points of information. Are there any points of information in the House? Saying no, the delegate will go back to the chair. The delegate, you know what to say?
The chair sets 30 seconds of unmoderated caucus.
29, 28.
On the pretty face.
Stay there.
Give it to them.
Shameless advertising if they vote for it.
That you have been involved in the crime of treason.
House, please come to order. The delegate of the United States has submitted an amendment. Delegate, would you, can you specify which?
The delegate didn't have time to write the whole sentences, but...
Can the delegate please approach the podium and
Just
explain?
read it and then we'll write it while we're...
Could the chairs please read out the amendment first?
It does not specify at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we need to.
The delegate of the USA would like to add a small thing that in the main clause that authorizes the implication of a three-phase counter-insurgency plan implemented by China with an observation group from the UN, and that's it. The United States would like to add that this observation group would only be there to observe the whole process of it, and they won't be having any power to in the decisions made by China, and just there to ensure that China is not using this power for its own benefit.
Delegate, what exactly is being changed?
They want to add counterinsurgency facilitated by China and overlooked by a third party. No, it already says in counterinsurgency plan facilitated by China, and then after the comma, overlooked by the UN as a third party. Point of information to the chair. Can China make this a friendly amendment?
Yes.
Okay.
The chair will
motion to move into voting.
Are there any seconds?
Overlooked by the UN as a third party.
Instead of China?
No, in addition.
The chair will not, Emma, please secure the door. The chair will divide the house to make sure every delegate votes on this whole clause. Delegate Bangladesh.
4.
China.
4.
France.
4.
Indonesia. Iraq.
Against.
Israel.
Against.
Japan.
Against.
Myanmar.
4.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
Against.
Syria.
Affirmation is it for the amendment?
For the whole
clauses.
clause.
4.
Pardon? 4?
Thailand.
4.
Turkey.
Against.
United Kingdom.
Against.
United States.
4.
There's been a veto. G5 nations, please go outside. Other delegates you have unmoderated caucus. It's a vote that they can
I know what they said no. Really?
As the original foreign appeal, none of the delegates in the conference would answer that. But in fact, I have already answered that yesterday. I have already
然后他说他们现在是一样的，我就跟着他，我还没看完这个，我开始在看他说的什么American 这个东西，我在看那个，看错了。他刚才那个谁缅马。我刚才一直在看他说的那个什么，我没有看那课，真的。如果你俩那么觉得，那你那么觉得呢？反正我们也没有什么 power， 是不是那批饭才有 power？ 我都没看完，他在写。
Yes, I will vote against the resolution since my thought a veto by the Russia would be the one
Why are you going?
Because our Muslim country.
You should ask them.
Can we just negotiate with this country and really could you buy entire island where that's a very good idea. Sorry.
There you go. I like that.
The chair has ruled that the veto is not valid, and so this clause passes. Please add it to the resolution as a whole.
The chair will now move on to 2.9, submitted by the main submitter is Delegate Talent. Delegate Talent, please approach to the podium. Due to time constraint, you have 1 minute. 2 seconds. Delegate, you can start when you're ready.
Honorable chairs and esteemed delegates, this clause can help the Rohingya refugees get temporary visas and go back to work in other countries. It will allow them to normalize their lives after what they have been through. It seems pretty much impossible to normalize their life. They've been denied citizenship, but visas will allow them to enter on work trips so they can work but not get a citizenship. The government does. An example of this is in Philippines, mates working in Hong Kong make a living like this. Although they are not citizens, they will make a living from this and maybe normalize their lives after a few years.
Is the delegate open to any points of information? The delegate is open to any points of information. Are there any points of information in the House? Delegate of China, the delegate of Bangladesh, the delegate of Myanmar, the delegate of the United States, the delegate in the order.
Information? Does the delegate believe that by providing visas in different countries and allowing them to be laborers, this can also benefit the economy of the country taking them in?
Yes, it can also benefit the economy when they take.
Thank you. The delegate of Bangladesh, you have been recognized.
point of information.
Good.
So who will be deciding who gets the temporary visa and who doesn't get the temporary visa, since the resolution stated a certain number of Rohingya refugees?
The government of the countries affected will have ultimate control.
Follow up.
United to 10 countries. Delegate Myanmar, you have been recognized.
The delegates PY has been answered.
Delegate United States, you have been recognized.
Kind of information. Does the delegate of Thailand aware that her clause is already covered by a previous clause by Japan?
No, I don't agree. Japan was offering citizenship, whereas this is visas on a work trip, where they can rebuild their lives, not on citizenship given by the countries.
Well,
United to 10 countries. Would the delegate ever vote by pleasure?
Can I yield my time to Siri?
Yes. That is accepted. The delegate, Siri, you have 1 minute to search something. As soon as possible, please. As soon as possible.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegate of Syria believes that the clause offered by Thailand is implementable because it violates neither Myanmar nor the Bangladesh sovereignty, and it's even benefit to the Myanmar's economy due to the cheaper payment of those laborers. So the delegate of Syria believes that this clause is benefit both Myanmar and the refugees, those Rohingya. Yes, thank you.
Mr. Delegate, with any point of information? Constraint, the chair will not accept any point of information from the delegate. Are there any more games? Yeah, the chair will now move on. Are there any delegates wishing to speak against this amendment? This whole clause. Delegate United States, you have been recognized. Delegate, you have 13 to 1.
The delegate of the United States thinks this clause is unnecessary, since that a previous clause has already guaranteed certain amounts of Rohingya refugees to enter and gain citizenship, which is better than what this clause has offered. Therefore, the United States believes that this clause is unnecessary and shouldn't be allowed.
Mr. Delegate, with any point of information?
Any more?
Due to time constraint, the chair will not accept any point of information from this delegate. Please remove for that, Chair. There has been a since there's no amendment for this whole clause, the chair will now move to voting procedure for this clause. The chair will divide the houses to make sure every delegate votes on this whole clause.
4.
China.
4.
France.
Against.
Indonesia.
4.
Iraq.
4.
Israel.
4.
Japan.
4.
Myanmar.
Against.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
4.
Syria.
4.
Thailand.
4.
Turkey.
4.
United Kingdom.
4.
United States.
Against.
There have been 2 vetoes. P5 nations, please go outside. House, can you on my way?
Yeah, just putting more.
It's going to be so annoying if like the overall resolution is vetoed.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You can. Overall, like when it's combined together.
oh, are we going to do that?
Someone could.
Myanmar.
I thought Myanmar said he's working it. That's what he told me.
Myanmar, why? I think we're going to vote for the resolution.
I don't. He's the last person.
I don't feel like it.
You don't feel like it.
Someone tells me, are we going to vote for the resolution?
Maybe the words smell all of laborers.
That's why we're trying to get through this so quickly. After we finish these last 2 clauses, we need to vote on the resolution 1 as a whole and resolution 2 as a whole. And then we need to choose which one goes to General Assembly tomorrow. And then we need to choose a main submitter and a co-submitter. And this is why we don't need all these vetoes.
Yeah.
And then we need to hand out the best delegate placards And then we need to, So if we can get this going, guys, that'd be great.
Can the veto for the resolution as a whole?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. What? It's gonna be so annoying when the veto goes.
The chair rules that the veto is not valid, and so this resolution passes.
The chair will not.
This clause passes, not this resolution.
The chair will now move to 2.10 clause submitted by Delegate Syria. I forgot 1 minute to 1 minute.
30 seconds, Delegate. 30 seconds.
30 seconds to present your.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the President of Rohingya seems already also planned the settlement of these refugees requires the involvement of the international society. Syria suggested before. Identifying those refugees' nationality, the most emergent thing is to settle these poor Rohingya, including those two vital organizations, the Arabic League and Organization Islamic Cooperation, and the probable address will be the countries listed in clause 2, and it doesn't trespass either the sovereignty of Myanmar or Bangladesh.
Thank you, Delegate.
Mr. Delegate, prepare any point of information?
I know.
Due to time constraint, the chair will not accept any point of information for this delegate.
Well, Delegate, please look for back to the session. There has been an amendment to strike clause 2.10 as a whole. Delegate of France, will you please approach the podium and explain your The chair stands corrected. Yes, subclause B.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, the delegate believe that we should strike down subclause B because all of it has already been mentioned in the previous clauses. Thank you.
Mr. Delegate, put any point of information? Due to time constraint, there will be no more point of information for this delegate. Please move the floor back to the chair. Back to the chair. More on the chair. No. There's one.
Just one.
There's one. There's one against speech for this whole clause amendment. Are there any delegates wishing to speak for against this amendment?
Motion to discuss.
Are there
Second.
Any objections?
I would like to speak against this amendment.
Okay.
Sorry, this is for
amendment. So
this is
only
the amendment, the yellow part.
Yeah.
To take it away.
So I'll withdraw.
The chair.
Is there a motion to move into voting procedure on this?
The chair will
Okay,
divide
for the fourth speech.
That will be denied. There's already been a fourth speech.
And due to time constraint, the chair will only accept
We
one.
will now move into voting procedure on the amendment.
Chair will divide the houses.
Bangladesh.
4.
China.
4.
France.
4.
Indonesia.
Yes.
Iraq.
Again.
Israel.
Yes.
Japan.
4.
Myanmar.
4.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
4.
Syria.
4.
Thailand.
4.
Turkey.
Against.
United Kingdom.
4.
United States.
4.
This amendment passes. Please make the appropriate changes. There's another amendment by the delegate of UK to strike the clause as a whole. Will the UK please approach the podium and give a 30-second speech?
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, like what the delegate of France mentioned, the UK also believes that this clause B is not necessary. However, the UK also thinks that clause A and the main clause holds similar meaning to previous clause saying financial support to the conflict-affected region, and therefore the UK thinks that it should be removed.
Mr. Duncan, put any point of information?
Any and all.
Due to time constraint, the chair will not accept any point of information from this delegate. Please open the floor back to the chair.
Floor back to chair.
To vote second. Any objections?
We are now moving to voting procedure on this amendment. All delegates, we will now
divide the
vote
houses.
Bangladesh.
Against.
China.
4.
France.
4.
Indonesia. Iraq.
4.
Israel. Japan.
4.
Myanmar.
4.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
Again.
Syria.
4.
Thailand.
4.
Turkey.
Against.
United Kingdom.
4.
United
Point
States.
of information, is it for the amendment or for the whole class?
This is for the amendment, which is to strike the
whole clause.
So we are voting for the amendment.
Yes.
Yeah, we just strike the whole, so it will be if this strike.
If this passes, we'll
nothing.
strike the whole clause.
Yes.
My change to the
The chair will start from a voting procedure from the beginning. Delegate of Bangladesh.
This is on the amendment.
Amendment is striking the whole clause.
Bangladesh.
Okay.
Against.
China.
4.
France.
4.
Indonesia.
Against.
Iraq.
4.
Israel.
Against.
Japan.
Excuse me, this is for
the amendments. Yes.
We're just striking the whole clause.
4.
Wait, what's your 4?
Myanmar.
4.
Russia.
4.
Saudi Arabia.
Again.
Syria.
Against.
Thailand.
Against.
Turkey.
Against.
United Kingdom.
4.
United States.
4.
This amendment passes. Please make the appropriate changes. This concludes our debate on the second resolution. We will now move. This laughing or clapping is not in order. We will now move into voting on the first resolution as a whole. Any delegates wishing to speak for the first resolution, the whole first resolution, all of the clauses included, please.
Can we share the new resolution that we have approved again?
Yes.
The chair will divide the house to make sure every delegate votes on this whole resolution. Delegate of Bangladesh.
May the chair send.
Yes.
Delegates, we don't really have time.
Yeah.
I'm putting it up as.
It's the first resolution.
You should have it if you've been keeping up.
So we're voting for which
whole
resolution?
topic
First
one.
one.
Wait. Yeah, the chair is sent.
Okay.